I love the 70s, man. I had a great fucking time, you know? I was basically 10 and under the whole decade. So it was just all about, you know, football cards. Got a paper route. I started making money. You know, I had my first job. You know, I didn't know football players wore shoulder pads. I thought their shoulders were that big. I mean, it was a great time. You know, there was no tablets or any of that shit. You just went outside and you played. It was fucking fantastic. I didn't realize the Vietnam War had just ended. I had no idea what the Vietnam War was. I didn't know anything. All I knew is that riding bikes, and I learned how to throw a spiral, you know, by myself, by just throwing the ball and going after it, because that was the 70s. Everybody was a fucking latchkey kid. Both your parents worked. That's how I learned how to throw a spiral, by myself, throwing to nobody. If that isn't 1975, I don't know what is. And I remember it spun, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And I ran inside to tell my mom, who was sleeping on the couch, because she worked the third shift, so she could watch us during the day over the summer, which she didn't really. She just was asleep on the couch. Like her parenting, the poor thing, was she couldn't sleep in the bedroom. She had to sort of be where we were, and she would just send us outside, and she would sleep on the couch in the living room. All right, overrated technologies. Bill, you've talked about overrated technologies in the past, and I'd like to submit my own candidate for this category. All streaming services. I miss cable TV. It's so funny, man. When cable TV came out, everybody was just like, this is too many channels. I miss when it was just 3 channels and everybody watched the local news, not this new CNN stuff. Now people miss this. I miss cable TV. Lots of movies and weird shit to choose from. Now channels can be boring and have nothing on them because they just want to give the illusion of things on TV. Most of all, I miss responsive remotes. Analog shit, Bill. Is that what the problem is? When you push the button, the channel changed immediately. No fucking menus. I'm only 42, by the way, so this isn't old man shit. That's hilarious. Is that what's going on? Yeah, I remember those big, like, it's like that when you buy like homemade butter or you buy like cream cheese. It was like the size of one of those packages. Remember, it used to make like a big noise when you the original ones. Yeah, they were great. I can still remember it was like a purple brown was the remote that we had, and there was a big thing with like kids at school going like, "What movie channels do you have?" And the movie channel was what Cinemax became when it became Skinemax. The movie channel was the one that had the dirtiest movies, and HBO and Cinemax were sort of like the best movies, and then HBO pulled ahead, and then I think Cinemax was like, well, we can't fuck with HBO, let's fuck with the movie channel, and then they started showing all the softcore porn and became known as Skinemax, and somewhere in there was Showtime. Yep, and MTV had just come out. You guys are making me feel good about my childhood with this, with these emails this week, because like it was really, I mean, it was just like yesterday as a dad, I had such a great time because my kids were doing the shit that I did when I was a kid. And they weren't on the tablet, and they were having a fucking blast, and they were riding around on their bikes, so the balance bikes and shit, and like I was telling my wife, and thank God Nia is totally on board with that. It's like we're going to be like, our kids are going to be like outside kids. Like they're going outside. They're going to play catch. They're riding bikes. You know, I got my drums they can mess around on. We're going to go out to eat as a family. Yeah, you know, we're going to go to the movie. Like I can't wait till they're big enough when we can just like go to the movies if they weren't so fucking loud. Those things are too goddamn loud too. But just doing stuff like that, as opposed to like everybody's in the same room and me and my wife are staring at the phone and the kids are looking at the tablet or watching the fucking flat screen TV. I'm going to make a point of doing stuff like that. Because I remember there was like little things that meant a lot to me as a kid to just like family moments. I remember like once a week we would all go out to dinner and we would go to McDonald's. And I think I told this before, but I always say that, but I don't know. We used to go to McDonald's, and I was living on the North Shore, Boston, when I was a little kid. And I remember there was a couple of like pro ball players that lived in and around the town, like Rico Petrocelli, who played shortstop for the Red Sox, and Kenny Hodge, great Kenny Hodge, who played for the Boston Bruins. He was like a town over or something like that. You drive by the house, like, that's Kenny Hodge's house. You couldn't believe it. And there was this McDonald's, and it was by like a train track, like an elevated train track that went over like this viaduct. And we would sit there, and we would eat outside. And all the kids got a cheeseburger, small fry, and a chocolate shake. And then my parents would get a Big Mac, large fry, and they'd get a Coke. And it was always the same order. And we'd all be excited. We'd pile in the station wagon. Or I think we had a Buick Regal, like a 72 or a 73 Buick Regal that we were renting from this place, Bob Breast Buick. I can't believe I remember that shit. I can't remember shit from yesterday. And we would drive over to this McDonald's, and in the summertime, we would get it, and we would eat outside on the little plastic tables and shit. And there would be like seagulls, and you could throw them like fucking French fries and shit. And every once in a while, you'd go there, and the train went by, and it was like the most amazing thing. You know when it goes by, and it's sort of gliding by, and that bell is ringing, and you'd be eating McDonald's, and it was the summertime, and you were a kid, and you had a shirt on that had a number on it. Nobody's name, none of that Mitchell and Ness shit. It was just a random shirt with a number on it. It was just like and a couple of stars on the sleeves, and it was like the greatest fucking thing ever. Yeah, I'd like to have my kids have that moment rather than being like staring at a fucking tablet playing Minecraft, whatever the fuck that is. My kid just wants that thing so bad. And I have this crushing need to be liked, which is why I'm a comedian. And I do what I do. So I have to be cognizant of that, to not give into that so my kid, air quote, likes me. You want to talk about manipulation, getting back to that. Like, I got to watch out for that. Last night, like, she was just having like, a real hard time with it. But I know, in the end, when she's grown up, hopefully she'll understand that as she's talking to all her friends who are going to be fucking scatterbrained from this overload of information. So that's it, people. I want to bring, if I was a politician, I want to bring back playing catch with your kids. I think it's a great way to connect with them. It's good for hand-eye coordination, and it's a big thing for a kid. You should know how to throw. Know how to ride a bike, know how to throw, know how to whistle. The little starter kit of being a kid. So you're not the kid that doesn't know how to do it, right? I don't know. I'll probably overcompensate on some level. Anyway, that is the podcast. Look how fucking relaxed I am. I started off calling somebody a squat little fucking steaming cunt, whatever the hell I said. And in the end of it, I'm talking about trying to be a good dad. There we go. I think, when you really think about it, everything works out.